Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the Jester. How are we all? Ta-da! Great evening last night. Saw Molly and loads of warrior teachers and Sarah of the Phillimore and the people from Lesbian Labour and the Keep Prisons Single Sex, and there was lots of good people there. We had a lovely evening of discussion and speeches which we were able to give. I was reined in by Sarah. I was told if I didn't shut up after 6 minutes she'd pull me off, so I had to be very quick. No, I didn't mean that. That you would pull me off the stage. But we had a fantastic night. It was brilliant. Anyway, so a couple of interesting things have happened. I've got a long article for you to have a look at. I'm not going to read the whole damn thing. I'm just going to give you a flavour of what's going on after I've said the following. Warrior teachers, right? If you want to apply now, okay? Because we're starting at the beginning of August. It's open for enrolment. So I'm actually enrolling people now and setting things up. So if you want to come along and be a warrior teacher, please do. If you cannot, can you please buy me a coffee or buy me a super thanks on here? And failing that, if you could share this video from YouTube to the Twitterweeds or the Facebooks or wherever the hell it is you're going to share it, I'd be more than grateful. But what I've got to do really is, first of all, I put up a video yesterday based on a Telegraph article about how tough they're going to be on this nonsense, which turned out that the Telegraph article has now been removed after Kemi Badenoch came out and said, no, not happening, not true. If it didn't come in from me, it's likely to be untrue. It was a very strange statement all round, but there you go. So it's up to you to decide what you think they're doing, whether they're testing the water. I don't know. But the Telegraph removed the article, okay? So I've got a video up, the one that I put up yesterday, that I'm torn about whether or not I remove. So what I've done is, because I was getting very excited by it, as anybody would, right? What I've done is I put on the title, Addendum. Kemi denies this comes from her office. I know the fact that the Telegraph has removed their article already, but I thought I should mention that, right? Because the Telegraph put it out there and it just suddenly disappeared. I think the whole thing's rather strange, but I'll leave you to make up your own decisions about that. But bear in mind that the video I'm so excited about is about something that isn't going to happen, according to the person that was going to make it happen. So I just look like an idiot. So should I take it down? No, I think we'll leave me up looking like an idiot. As a salutary lesson, or cautionary lesson, in getting your facts right, which I thought I had because the article was from the Telegraph and I was just reading what they were saying. It's a very strange state of affairs, isn't it? Very strange. An inside, White House, not White House, Downing Street source and all that sort of stuff. So if you that was on yesterday, that video. So if you want to go and see it, go and see it. It's me getting excited about something that ain't gonna happen. What a tosser I am. Right, okay. What have I got for you today? We're going down under again, okay, to Sydney. And we found content was sent to me by one of my warrior teachers in in Australia, right, in Australia. From a guy called Alistair Laurie. That's not the warrior teacher, that's one of these LGBT advocate and activists who has put in a submission to the New South Wales Equality Bill, which is something that's happening at the moment in Australia. And it's written to Alex Greenwich, I think it is actually, member for Sydney. He's written to Mr. Greenwich and said, thank you for the opportunity to provide this personal submission as part of your consultation process on a proposed equality bill. Thank you also for your leadership on, wait for it, the issue of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, intersex and queer LGBTIQ rights in New South Wales, something which has been neglected by too many for far too long. As I have written previously, LGBTIQ rights in New South Wales are now the worst of any state or territory in the country. Through decades of inaction on law performed by the New South Wales Government and Parliament, Sydney has become Australia's capital of homophobia, biphobia and transphobia. Now, he's an activist, obviously, bear it in mind, because that's why he's using the LGBTQI bloody nonsense. So you've got to bear in mind that this person's an activist. It sounds to me like a pain in the arse, but we'll say this includes the worst, the continuing now about what's going on in New South Wales. This includes the worst LGBTIQ anti-discrimination protections and the equal worst birth certificate laws for trans and gender diverse people, right? So what in that sentence there, obviously there's forced teaming. We'll add the LGB, this has got nothing to do with the LGB, and it's got nothing to do with what he calls the I, which are people with DSDs. Nothing. So this is a disingenuous statement from the start. So he's moaning about that. And the next thing is, as well as ongoing failure to prohibit non-consenting surgeries and other medical interventions on children born with variations in sex characteristics. Intersex children, he's called them. right? So that's, yes, this is nothing to do with anything to do with this nonsense. And certainly this activist knows that. He's full of it. He's just force teaming people. So it's got nothing to do with it. Nothing. And this is the kind of type of stuff that's being submitted to the people, the good people of New South Wales. He then follows with, and they've not banned sexual orientation and gender identity conversion practices. That's because you can't do both, right? Gender identity conversion practice is, therapy for people who are unwell. So what are you talking about, right? And then to ban sexual orientation conversion practices. Well, I'm not sure that's even going on in many places now in the West. But if you ban gender identity conversion practices as you think they are, you then cement in law gay conversion therapy. Because gender identity ideology is gay conversion therapy. So this chap here, Alistair Lowry, is absolutely full of it. And the people of Australia must say so. He then says, if these issues are not addressed before next Friday, then Sydney's hosting of World Pride 2023, which has been a big pride for many years, will not be a cause for celebration, but instead the focus of global embarrassment about the incredibly poor state of legal rights for the, and he does it again, LGBTIQ people who live here. He's not mentioned one right that's anything to do with LGBT people. Not one. That we need. In this submission, I will make recommendation for reform in the above-mentioned 4 areas, with a particular focus on LGBTI anti-discrimination law reform, as well as in relation to commercial surgery. So nothing to do with the LGB again. You disingenuous wazzock. LGBTI reforms to the Anti-Discrimination Act 1977, New South Wales. The new Anti-Discrimination Act was once a leader, including becoming the first anti-discrimination law in Australia to prohibit discrimination on the basis of homosexuality in 1982. Before homosexuality was even decriminalised here, which did not happen until 1984. So the New South Wales Anti-Discrimination Act of 1982, put into law, you can't discriminate on somebody because they're homosexual. Right? Yep. That's what we need. We had it in 1982. So what's the problem? What's he wibbling about? What does he want now? What does he want to thrust into the orifice of Australia? Right? In his particular wibblings. Well, however, it now compares incredibly poorly across a wide range of criteria. Right? Okay, so you can't discriminate against somebody because they're homosexual. I.e., they love people of the same sex, me, all manner of puffery and faggotry. That, right? Or they're a lesbian, But he's saying it compares incredibly poorly across a wide range of criteria, from protected attributes, special privileges for private schools, and special privileges for religious organisations generally. While the Act itself is now so outdated that it is impossible for it to become best practice without a comprehensive review followed by complete overhaul, there are some immediate interim steps which can be taken to ensure LGBTI people... He's left the queue off. LGBTI... your queue slipped, mate. LGBTI people are better protected against discrimination on the basis of who they are. This includes replace homosexuality with sexual orientation. Clever. Clever little man, aren't you? No, is the answer. There are only 3 orientations. Homosexual, bisexual, heterosexual. That's it. I see what you're doing. And you have a look and you see if you can see what he's doing. I see what you're doing. New South Wales is the only jurisdiction in Australia which does not prohibit discrimination against bisexuals and or pansexual people. Here it comes, see. So they keep adding in the crap. Pansexual people. Let's have that crap in. Pansexual people. Right? Nonsense, right? This is because the protected attribute in the Anti-Discrimination Act is homosexuality rather than sexuality or sexual orientation. Now, I'm happy with them to replace it with sexual orientation. I'm sure most Australian people would be, providing they specify that's only heterosexual, bisexual and homosexual. There are no other sexualities. They are made-up tools of the queer denizens of Madland, right? So that's what you've got to be aware of. It says it should be replaced. Sexual orientation means a person's emotional, affectional and sexual attraction to or intimate or sexual relations with persons of a different gender or the same gender or more than one gender. He's a complete nut job. And this is the sort of submission he's put in to the consultation in Australia. And it says replace transgender with gender identity. I mean, dear God. You know, this is happening globally. Here we are in Australia. This is from his own website, so it's the horse's mouth. So I'm going to say to you today, go and have a look. Go and ask your Australian friends. Get this video out to Australia. It's so hard to reach people in Australia and America from my video channel. I don't know why, but I have a look at the figures and it's so low. I don't know why, but maybe I'm too quintessentially English. I don't know. So his name is Alistair Laurie. That's essentially what he's saying should be done. The whole thing is a disaster. But it mirrors and so well the same lunacy that we're seeing in the UK is happening in Australia. And I do wonder to myself, how up with this are the American people? Where are they? Have they got it? Have they sussed it? Do they know what's going on? Or are we just beginning the fight down there? Is the fight just beginning? I saw Kelly J. Keen's off to New Zealand again as well. Ha ha! They don't like it up 'em. Go and have a look at the article, what this guy's written. Go and have a look what he's written, and you tell me in the comments. Do you think that what he's written is a problem? Because I certainly do. Right? I certainly do. I think he's dangerous. Absolutely dangerous. And he's very indicative of the type of individual that should be kept as far away from the public sphere as possible. But that's for you to decide. Go and read the article. It's interesting to get a flavour of what's going on outside of the UK for my UK viewers, and outside of America for my American viewers. So please do go and have a look. And I'll see you later. Have a fantastic day. I'm going for brunch. Bye.